I would say this is the movie that kind of pushed my depression over the edge, but I still liked it. Hello, darlings, and welcome to Performance Perspective, where we watch different performances and then we share our perspectives. If you're new here, hi, I'm Cara Darling, and if you're not, welcome back. Oppenheimer is an upcoming historical drama film directed by Christopher Nolan, known for his work on films like Inception and Dunkirk. The movie centers around the life of J. Robert Oppenheimer, an American theoretical physicist who played a crucial role in the development of the atomic bomb during World War II. The film explores Oppenheimer's scientific brilliance, his leadership of the Manhattan Project, and the complex ethical and moral dilemmas he faced while working on a weapon of such devastating power. As the story unfolds, the movie delves into the immense pressure and responsibility Oppenheimer carried, knowing that the outcome of the project could have profound implications for humanity. The themes of the movie are likely to revolve around the consequences of scientific discovery and the moral implications of wielding such a destructive force. It may also delve into the human side of Oppenheimer, exploring his personal struggles, doubts, and the internal conflicts he experienced as he grappled with the weight of his actions. Now, I do have thoughts about this, and I'm like, oh my gosh, do I have thoughts about this? I will say that my experience watching it, there wasn't an actor in it that I thought, oh my gosh, this was so pivotal and stuff. And even when watching the behind the scenes or trying to get their take as their experience creating this, the only thing I kind of got out of it is the fact that Cillian Murphy only ate almonds and lost a lot of weight. The thing that made me spiral out of control is the fact that this is real. This happened. This isn't, oh, what ifism. It's like, no, this is actually a part of our history. And also the thing that was getting to me watching it is we know what the future is because we are the future. And as they're talking about creating such a weapon, and their whole thing is, hey, this weapon is going to be us having peace. And we know, no, this is when the nuclear race happens and where we are today of other countries having such a weapon. See what I mean? Like, it's a lot. So this movie isn't for the ones that I'm like, gets anxiety, gets depressed easily. Like, this movie isn't necessarily for you, but there are certain things about it that I'm like, is interesting to talk about. Something I find interesting about the film is that it's not black and white, even though, yes, they have black and white in the film. But what I mean is that we have, a character that is into science, into education, into exploring something. And then we have a character who's thinking of the financial success of it and wanting to, have these discoveries, not for knowledge, but for wealth. But then we have another scientist. You see the difference with Oppenheimer and that individual that wanted to go into, hydro and stuff. They're very similar in the sense that they want to discover and for knowledge and stuff, but to what degree? Oppenheimer has the point where it's like, if we explore this, there is a point of no return and it's destructive. While this scientist is like, someone else is going to discover it. Why not it be us? It's just something I find interesting of how these people think, and they could be similar, and it's not a sense of one's good, one's bad. We just know what the outcome is. And also answering the question, if not us, then someone else will. Cillian Murphy seemed cold and calculated, but maybe this was his approach for being a mad genius. For a movie that's about 3 hours, it didn't feel like it, and there wasn't a lot of action. So props to the cinematography and the script for moving the scenes along. This is the kind of movie to pay attention to, and I recommend to remember the characters' names and who they are, because I found myself lost whenever there would be a conversation and names are mentioned. So I was like, oh shoot, from the beginning I was like, I gotta remember who's who. The movie is chronological for the most part, but there will be flash forward to showcase Louis Strauss. Okay, can I just talk about what I loved about the movie? The color grading, the coloring. I have a theory, spoiler coming, that whenever it's in color, You're looking at it through the view of Oppenheimer, what he was experiencing. And then when things are black and white, it's Strauss. And the thing is that Strauss is the person I was saying that, it's all about money. And so to him, it's everything in his view is black and white. There is no gray area or anything. So what his belief was about Oppenheimer, it was either about him or about Oppenheimer. It wasn't about anybody else. There wasn't no other influences or anything. That's just how he saw it. While Oppenheimer was looking at things through all views, whether it was through some of his loves, love of people, love of the connections that he's had, but also the love of his experiments and the science. And it's like, can you be proud of something that you created, even though it's actually going to be devastation? That's something I just found really interesting about the movie, is like how they used color and also how they use his experience similar to his weapon, if that makes any sense. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on Oppenheimer and whether you enjoy the movie. I find myself pondering the different interpretations of some scenes without giving away too much. There's a notable moment when Oppenheimer faces questions about his lover Jean Tatlock, played by Florence Pugh. The revelation is that he visited her and cheated on his wife Kitty, portrayed by Emily Blunt. During this particular scene, Oppenheimer candidly discusses his encounter with Jean, and things take an unexpected turn. It becomes tense as Kitty, aware of the infidelity, sits behind him during the boardroom discussion. The scene then shifts to Jean sitting on Oppenheimer, appearing vulnerable and bare. Okay, you catch my drift. While Oppenheimer continues to speak normally about their encounter, in this particular scene, we witness Oppenheimer's recollection of his rendezvous with Jean, or as I interpreted, Kitty's realization that this deeply personal affair between her and her husband has now become public knowledge. The revelation of Oppenheimer's intimate time with another woman leaves Kitty feeling utterly humiliated. Anyways, I'd love to hear your thoughts, and if you enjoyed this episode, please consider subscribing to the channel and let me know which show you'd like us to discuss next. I'm looking forward to hearing your suggestions, and don't worry, Barbie will be coming up here soon. And without further ado, take care, darling.